The third season of this donghua begins by showing the city of Songchai, which is still devastated by the attack from the demons some time ago. That night, Wang Ling is seen visiting a roadside eatery, where he orders a bowl of ramen noodles for dinner. After the recent demon invasion, the government and Songchai townspeople had worked together to make repairs to various areas, and Wang Ling was relieved that he could finally live the quiet and peaceful life that he had always dreamed of. However, when Wang Ling was about to eat his food using special chopsticks that could withstand his immense power, he was suddenly startled by the appearance of a monstrous demon that attacked a nearby area. Some of the demons had survived after Wang Ling destroyed the demon world, so some of them then entered the human world to take revenge and create chaos. Wang Ling then got up from his seat and intended to exterminate the demons. But before Wang Ling could launch an attack, someone had already attacked the demon and defeated the demon. Wang Ling didn't know the identity of the person who had defeated the demon, but he could confirm that the person who had defeated the demon was a girl, judging from her appearance when she acted from a helicopter. Wang Ling chose not to think about the girl, as the demon's appearance had interrupted his dinner, so Wang Ling intended to continue his delayed dinner. The next day, Wang Ling's classmates, Chen Chao and Guihao, were seen observing their school building. At the same time, their friend, Lin, came up to them and asked what they were doing, because Chen Chao and Guihao were standing in front of the school building instead of going to class. Guihao then told Lin that their school building should still be under renovation due to the attack incident by the demons. But strangely, the renovation was surprisingly short-lived, especially since their school building looked the same as before, as if it had never been destroyed by the demon's attack. The scene then switched and showed a few days earlier, when Wang Ling asked the demon frog to stay in the backyard of the school because the demon world had been destroyed, so the demon frog could not return to his hometown. At that time, Zhui suddenly came to see Wang Ling and begged Wang Ling to repair the school building as soon as possible, so that the students could immediately return to school to start the new semester. Therefore, Wang Ling asked the demon frog to use his power to turn back time. As a result of overusing his power to restore the school building back to its original state, the demon frog immediately felt weak and his body became thin. In the present, Guihao then asked Lin about her current dwelling because Lin previously lived in the school. Lin then told them that she had met her older sister, Jian Ling, so now she lived with her sister in the sword's graveyard. Not long after, a luxury car pulled up in front of the school building and Sun Rong was seen getting out of the car escorted by her bodyguards. At the same time, a helicopter landed on the school grounds and a girl got off the helicopter along with her bodyguards. Lin and the students who saw this immediately knew that the girl must come from a rich family, just like Sun Rong. Shortly afterward, Wang Ling finally arrives at school and he is not impressed by the luxury displayed by Sun Rong or the mysterious girl. Upon seeing Wang Ling's arrival, Sun Rong immediately approaches him and holds on tightly to Wang Ling as they walk together to their class. In the elite classroom, Sun Rong and her classmates are seen talking about the mysterious girl. Chen Chao assumes that the girl is not from their country. That is also confirmed by Guihao, who apparently recognizes the symbol on the helicopter. The symbol turns out to be the symbol of the Jiugong family from Taiyang Island, which is known as the Demon Slayers. At the same time, the mysterious girl suddenly enters the elite classroom and one of her bodyguards then introduces the girl as Jiugong Liangji. He explains that Liangji is a student on an international student exchange, so she would now become Sun Rong's schoolmates. On the other hand, Liangji, who seems to know Sun Rong, then challenges the girl to a duel with her. Liangji apparently intends to seize Sun Rong's position as the most popular girl in the school. Even Liangji planned to get rid of Sun Rong from the school because she thought that the school didn't need two girls who were popular and wealthy. Upon hearing that, Sun Rong becomes annoyed because of Liangji's arrogant attitude. They then get into an argument until finally Pen Shinchong appears and tells Liangji to return to her classroom. Unfortunately, Liangji was placed in the regular class, so she felt embarrassed because she had challenged Sun Rong, who was in the elite class. Liangji then scolds her bodyguard, who apparently didn't do any research before she enters the school. Liangji actually understood the school's decision to place her in the regular class because her family, who were the Demon Slayers, were often looked down upon by the cultivators. Knowing that recently demons have been appearing frequently, Liangji is determined to prove to them that the Jiugong family are the greatest Demon Slayers. Even Liangji plans to rule the country in order to bring the Jiugong family to the peak of glory. But before that, Liangji must get rid of Sun Rong and become the most popular girl in the school. On the other hand, her bodyguard was seen begging Liangji for forgiveness for disappointing her. But Liangji refused to spare him and strictly punished him by taking his life, so that her other bodyguards became frightened. Especially after Liangji said that she would not tolerate the slightest mistake. Liangji, who was annoyed that Sun Rong rejected her challenge, accidentally saw Sun Rong, who was alone with Wang Ling. Upon seeing that, Liangji planned to use Wang Ling to force Sun Rong to accept her challenge. Liangji then approached Sun Rong and Wang Ling, who were about to go to the cafeteria, where Liangji apparently brought Wang Ling's favorite snacks to attract the young man's attention. Sun Rong assumed that Wang Ling would not be interested in Liangji's offer. But surprisingly, Wang Ling, who was very fond of the snacks, immediately approached Liangji, because Liangji brought limited edition snacks that were only sold on Taiyang Island, which is her hometown. Seeing Wang Ling, who was very interested in the snack, Liangji also tried to irritate Sun Rong by flirting with Wang Ling. As expected by Liangji, Sun Rong then became angry and finally accepted Liangji's challenge to duel with her. Liangji, who knew that Sun Rong had extraordinary talents and abilities in many ways, then challenged Sun Rong to a cooking competition. Some time later, the cooking competition between Sun Rong and Liangji finally began. Guahao, who acted as the host, then introduced the participants, where it was seen that Sun Rong had many fans supporting her, while Liangji was only supported by her bodyguards. Even so, Liangji was not discouraged, and she felt confident that she could beat Sun Rong in the competition. Afterwards, Guahao introduced Wang Ling as the only judge in the cooking competition. When the cooking competition finally began, Liangji immediately showed her prowess in processing food ingredients and using kitchen utensils. On the other hand, Sun Rong looked confused when choosing between oil and soy sauce, and she couldn't even turn on the stove, because in her entire life, Sun Rong had never cooked. Upon seeing this, one of her bodyguards then secretly helped Sun Rong in the cooking competition. While Sun Rong had difficulty in cooking and even caused a small fire, Liangji seemed to be very good at making dishes. Even the aroma of the dishes made by Liangji was able to arouse the appetite of the audience watching the cooking competition. Liangji had apparently gotten information that Sun Rong was not good at cooking, so she deliberately challenged Sun Rong to a cooking competition. In the end, Liangji managed to make a variety of delicious and appetizing dishes and immediately served the dishes to Wang Ling. Because Liangji cooked quite a lot of dishes, some students also had the opportunity to taste the dishes, which turned out to be very delicious. Not only that, Liangji secretly put a potion into the dish to make Wang Ling feel full when eating the dish, so that he wouldn't taste Sun Rong's cooking. Meanwhile, Sun Rong, who failed to make any dishes, then tried to serve the instant crispy noodles, which was Wang Ling's favorite snack. Sun Rong felt confident that she still had a chance to win the cooking competition, because she realized that Wang Ling didn't really enjoy the dishes made by Liangji. Sun Rong then opened the package of the instant crispy noodles and added some savory seasoning, then shook it elegantly, and served it to Wang Ling. Surprisingly, Wang Ling really enjoyed the dish served by Sun Rong. Even he shed tears and accidentally released a power that could make everyone there become radiant and feel very happy. With that, Guahao announced that Sun Rong was the winner of the cooking competition. Upon hearing that, Liangji suddenly felt annoyed and protested the decision because Sun Rong didn't cook the dish at all. Sun Rong then told Liangji that she had to understand Wang Ling before she chose Wang Ling as a judge in the cooking competition. Sun Rong had known Wang Ling for a long time, so she knew that Wang Ling loved instant crispy noodles. After winning the cooking competition, Sun Rong managed to maintain her position as the most popular girl in the school. Meanwhile, having failed to beat Sun Rong in the cooking competition, Liangji became very annoyed and was determined to get rid of Sun Rong. The scene then switched and showed the demon frog's past as he was about to celebrate his birthday. At that time, his mother told the demon frog about the birthday egg that must be baked for 10 minutes before serving. In addition, his mother also reminded him to bake the birthday egg at a high temperature, because if the temperature was insufficient, then the birthday egg would bring disaster to them. Before the demon frog ate the birthday egg, his family then wished him a happy birthday and hoped that the demon frog could find a beautiful partner and have offspring and live happily ever after. Shortly afterward, the birthday egg finally hatched and revealed a beautiful and delicious birthday cake. His mother then asked the demon frog to make a wish before he blew out the birthday candles. The demon frog then said a heartfelt wish where he hoped that someday he would become the demon king who could protect everyone. However, all of that is just wishful thinking because the demon world has been destroyed along with his entire family. Switching to the present, the demon frog, who had just woken up from his dream, then tried to find food because he was hungry. He found something rotten in his food bowl, which turned out to be the dish cooked by Sun Rong in the cooking competition. Not long after, the demon frog gets a notification on his cell phone telling him that today is his birthday. At the same time, Wang Ling arrived at the place, and the demon frog immediately assumed that Wang Ling must want to ask him for a favor. But Wang Ling then told the demon frog that he and his classmates were planning a birthday party. Upon hearing that, the demon frog suddenly felt happy and touched, as he assumed that Wang Ling and his friends remembered about his birthday and had planned something to celebrate his birthday. When the students had gone home, Sun Rong and her friends were busy preparing for the birthday celebration. Jin Chao and Guo Hao were in charge of preparing the birthday party trinkets and also some birthday gifts that they placed on the table, while Wang Ling was in charge of taking the birthday egg, because it was the most important thing in the birthday celebration that was usually carried out by the demon clan. After dividing the tasks among her friends, Sun Rong asked them to keep the birthday surprise a secret from anyone. Concurrently, the demon frog, who realized that Sun Rong and her friends were still in their classroom, entered and asked why they hadn't gone home yet. The arrival of the demon frog immediately made Sun Rong and her friends surprised and did everything possible to hide the birthday surprise from the demon frog. However, the demon frog saw something about the pill refining room before Sun Rong took him out of the place. Sun Rong then asked Lin to look after the demon frog and accompany him for a walk, while they prepared the birthday surprise. The demon frog, who thought that Sun Rong and her friends were preparing a birthday surprise for him, suddenly felt excited and asked Lin to go away from the school because he didn't want to disturb them. While Sun Rong and her friends were decorating their classroom for the birthday party, Wang Ling was seen somewhere getting the birthday egg. When he was about to put the birthday egg into the sack, Wang Ling was suddenly attacked from behind. But Wang Ling seemed to have managed to avoid the attack because he was seen giving the birthday egg to Guo Hao to bake. Since his body became dirty due to the attack, Wang Ling intends to clean himself up. Elsewhere, Lin was seen having a conversation with the demon frog, where she then offered ice cream to the demon frog. However, the demon frog declined Lin's offer, assuming that he would be eating a variety of delicious dishes at his birthday party. While the demon frog was thinking about the birthday party, Pen Shichong suddenly appeared and told Lin that she was going back to school because she had left her cell phone in the pill refining room. Upon hearing that, the demon frog immediately realized that Sun Rong and her friends intended to use the pill refining room to bake the birthday egg. So the demon frog rushed away to prevent Pen Shichong from possibly ruining the birthday surprise that Sun Rong and her friends had prepared. The demon frog managed to get ahead of Pen Shichong and found her cell phone in the pill refining room. With his remaining power, the demon frog then transforms into Zhue Yi and seduces Pen Shichong. Although Pen Shichong was unable to resist Zhue Yi's charms, she still questioned the existence of the birthday egg in the pill refining room. The demon frog tried to convince Pen Shichong that he was doing research on the birthday egg, until he finally managed to distract Pen Shichong after he invited the female teacher to watch a movie together. Pen Shichong, who seems to have romantic feelings for Zhue Yi, then rushes to order tickets at the theater and says that she will wait for him in front of the theater. When Pen Shichong finally left the school, the demon frog returned to its original form and began to run out of steam. At the same time, the demon frog overheard Guo Hao telling Qin Chao that he baked the birthday egg over low heat to get the perfect flavor. The demon frog who heard that immediately realized that his mother had once told him that the birthday egg must be baked at a high temperature, because if not, the birthday egg would bring disaster. Hence, the demon frog rushed after Guo Hao and the others to warn them before the catastrophe really happened. Meanwhile in the classroom, Guo Hao is still having trouble contacting Wang Ling, even though they have finished the preparations for the birthday surprise. On the other hand, Qin Chao and Sun Rong are seen admiring the birthday egg, until finally the egg hatches and out comes a very cute cake demon. Because the cake demon looked so adorable, Qin Chao was caught off guard, so the cake demon could easily attack him and take over his body. Qin Chao, who had been controlled by the cake demon, then broke the egg and threw the cake demons to Guo Hao and Sun Rong, as well as Sun Rong's bodyguards, until they had all been controlled by the cake demons. Shortly afterward, Wang Ling finally appeared and he was able to easily destroy the cake demons and save everyone. Concurrently, the demon frog arrived at the class and realized that he was too late because the birthday cake had turned into the demons and ruined the birthday surprise that Wang Ling and his friends had prepared. Not only the demon frog, Wang Ling and Jinka also felt sad because Sun Rong and the others had gone to great lengths to prepare the birthday surprise, but it was ruined by the birthday cake. Therefore, the demon frog was finally willing to mobilize all its strength to turn back time, so that they could give the birthday surprise as they had planned. Soon after, Lin and the demon frog finally arrived at the classroom where Wang Ling and his friends were waiting for their arrival. But unexpectedly, Wang Ling and his friends had prepared a birthday surprise for Lin, who happened to have the same birthday as the demon frog. Lin felt very happy and touched because they remembered about her birthday, while she even forgot that today was her birthday. On the other hand, the demon frog felt sad and disappointed because it turned out that Wang Ling and his friends prepared a birthday surprise for Lin and not for him. The demon frog then felt upset because all this time he had gone to great lengths and even exerted his power just to make others happy. However, It wasn't only the demon frog who felt sad that the day didn't go the way he wanted. Elsewhere, Pan Chichon was seen crying in frustration because Zhuo Yi did not come to watch a movie with her as he had promised. When Pan Chichon called Zhuo Yi, much to her surprise, Zhuo Yi told her that he was out of the country on a business trip. A few days later, Guahao took his friends to a mountain behind his family's house. Guahao told them that the mountain has abundant crops, so the business run by Guahao's family in the field of medicinal herbs can be said to be quite smooth, because the essential ingredients for making medicinal herbs can be easily found on the mountain. That day, Guahao and his friends intended to look for hemostatic spirit grass that they would use for their schoolwork. At the same time, the demon frog sniffed out the presence of hemostatic spirit grass around the place, which signaled that they had arrived at the destination, so Chen Chao became even more excited. Guahao then warned his friends about the spirit beasts inhabiting the mountain and asked them to be careful. Shortly afterward, a spirit beast suddenly appeared and was about to attack them, so they rushed to escape. In the midst of their escape, the demon frog was accidentally caught in a trap that was usually used to catch the spirit beast. When the gorilla-like spirit beast was about to attack the demon frog, suddenly another spirit beast that resembled a dragon appeared. Guahao, who saw the spirit beast, was astonished because the dragon-like spirit should only be found in volcanic areas. While the two spirit beasts engaged in a fierce battle, Guahao and his friends chose to hide because they didn't want to hurt the spirit beasts. When the gorilla-like spirit was defeated, someone suddenly threw a gourd at the spirit beast, which automatically confined the spirit beast into the gourd. Shortly afterward, Tang Jingzhe appeared and retrieved the gourd. The scene then switches to show Liangji advertising a game called Beast Monster Go, in which a beast hunter would use a gourd like the one used by Tang Jingzhe to capture spirit beasts and confine them inside the gourd. Each spirit beast they capture will automatically obey their master, so beast hunters usually use the spirit beasts as their pets. Since the Beast Monster Go game was so much fun, Tang Jingzhe invited Guahao and the others to play with him. However, Guahao firmly refused Tang Jingzhe's invitation because he thought that the spirit beasts were sacred creatures. So it was inappropriate for them to play with them, let alone keep them as pets. But Tang Jingzhe didn't seem to care about that and left immediately. On the other hand, the demon frog was annoyed that they got into an argument and ignored him, who was still caught in the trap set by Tang Jingzhe. Chen Chao then asked Guahao about his real reason for refusing Tang Jingzhe's invitation to play the Beast Monster Go game, even though Guahao had played the game before. Guahao also admitted that some time ago he was very fond of Beast Monster Go, until he finally learned that some of his customers captured the spirit beasts and treated them harshly. Even after, when they were bored, the spirit beasts they captured were abandoned. On the way, they accidentally found the rabbit spirit trapped in one of the traps set by Tang Jingzhe. Guahao immediately freed the spirit beast and was very upset to find out that Tang Jingzhe deliberately let the spirit beast that he considered weak just die. At the same time, the demon frog, who had been freed from the trap, sniffed something and found the unicorn spirit that was injured. Guahao and the others immediately caught up with the demon frog and looked shocked when they found the unicorn, who was injured quite severely. Realizing that the unicorn was starting to lose her strength due to heavy bleeding, the demon frog was convinced that the unicorn would die soon, and asked Wang Ling and the others to let him eat the unicorn. However, Wang Ling and his friends flatly refused the demon frog's request, and they rushed the unicorn to Guahao's family's herb shop so that the unicorn could be treated. But upon arrival, Guahao's parents were away, so they tried to treat the unicorn on their own. Guahao also tried to give hemostatic spirit grass to stop the unicorn's bleeding, but the medicine didn't really work, so they had to find another way to save the unicorn's life. While Guahao and Chen Chao were arguing about how to treat the unicorn, Wang Ling then gave the crispy noodles to the unicorn, and surprisingly, his immense power was able to heal the unicorn's wound in an instant and save the unicorn's life. Afterward, Guahao then allowed the unicorn to soak in the healing pool, so that the unicorn could recover quickly. However, unbeknownst to Wang Ling and his friends, Tang Jingzhe was secretly watching them from a distance, which indicated that Tang Jingzhe was targeting the unicorn. After the unicorn had fully recovered, Guahao then named the unicorn as Xiaoyin because she had snow-white fur. Xiaoyin seemed to really like Wang Ling because she always clung to Wang Ling, who had saved her life. Shortly afterward, Tang Jingzhe appears and tells them that Xiaoyin is the legendary spirit beast whose blood can be used to speed up healing. Guahao, who was still annoyed at Tang Jingzhe, then kicked the young man out of his shop because Tang Jingzhe had no business in that place. Upon hearing that, Tang Jingzhe then told Guahao and his friends that Xiaoyin legally belonged to him because he was the one who had injured Xiaoyin. Knowing that Tang Jingzhe was the one who had injured Xiaoyin, Chen Chao suddenly became angry and intended to avenge Tang Jingzhe's actions. However, Guihao immediately calmed down his best friend as he said that he would settle the matter by challenging Tang Jingzhe to a beast monster go battle. Tang Jingzhe, who had wanted the duel from the start, immediately accepted Guihao's challenge, and they headed to the fighting arena located not far from Guihao's family residence. Tang Jingzhe told them that he would take Xiaoyin and make the unicorn his own if he won the duel. Guihao accepted the terms while emphasizing that Xiaoyin would still be with them, and Tang Jingzhe was forbidden to set foot in Guihao's family's territory if he managed to win the duel. After reaching an agreement, Guihao and Tang Jingzhe finally started their fight. Unexpectedly, Guihao actually asked the demon frog to fight against Tang Jingzhe's spirit beast. Upon hearing that, the demon frog was immediately annoyed because he thought that he was just being used by Wang Ling and his friends, so he refused to get involved in the fight. But Wang Ling then looked at the demon frog with his death glare, as he told him to obey him, so the demon frog felt daunted and chose to obey Wang Ling. However, when the demon frog was about to fight, Xiaoyin valiantly stepped forward to fight Tang Jingzhe's red-armored spirit beast. When the fight started, Xiaoyin was overwhelmed by the attacks of the red-armored beast whose body size was much larger. Especially since Guihao also did not know about the unicorn's fighting techniques. Feeling confident that he could win the fight, Tang Jingzhe then ordered his spirit beast to launch his ultimate technique, and managed to encircle Xiaoyin in a circle of raging flames. Realizing that the red-armored beast could defeat Xiaoyin if he unleashed his ultimate technique again, Wang Ling then entered Xiaoyin's subconscious and gave Xiaoyin a glimmer of his spirit power. Until finally Xiaoyin could evolve to become stronger and managed to defeat the red-armored spirit beast, even making Tang Jingzhe bounce away due to the powerful attack launched by Xiaoyin. After the incident, Tang Jingzhe seemed to be caught in his own trap, and the rabbit spirit who was previously freed by Guihao deliberately took Tang Jingzhe's sword so that he could not break free from the trap. Tang Jingzhe tried to persuade the rabbit spirit to return his sword, but the giant rabbit spirit suddenly appeared and punished Tang Jingzhe because he had set many traps to trap the spirit beasts in the forest. The next day, Liangji, who was on his way to Faction 60 High School, looked happy when she saw a billboard about the Beast Monster Go game, where she was the model. One of Liangji's bodyguards informed her that the Beast Monster Go game had been downloaded by millions of people in various countries and was now the most famous game in the world. With this achievement, Liangji was confident that she would be able to unseat Sun Rong as the most popular girl in their school, and even felt confident that she would become the most popular girl in Songhai. Upon arriving at the school, Liangji saw the students gathering in front of the school gate, and she confidently assumed that they were waiting for her. However, when Liangji got off the helicopter, the students didn't care about Liangji at all as they were apparently admiring Xiaoyin's beauty. One of Liangji's bodyguards then informed her about the popularity list in Faction 60 High School, where Xiaoyin ranked first, followed by Sun Rong and the Demon Frog who ranked second and third respectively. Upon seeing that, Liangji was furious that she was in fourth place and her popularity was even less than the spirit beast and the demon who were not of the human race. When Guihao was telling his schoolmates about Xiaoyin, Xiaoyin suddenly jumped down from Guihao's arms and went straight to Wang Ling who had just arrived at school. Xiaoyin was obedient to Wang Ling and seemed to always stick to him, so it then made Guihao very sad. On the other hand, Liangji immediately realized that Xiaoyin was the legendary spirit beast who was quite familiar with her family. While the students were in class, the demon frog secretly approached Xiaoyin and intended to devour her, as the unicorn's blood was one of the most precious things for the human race as well as the demon race like himself. However, just as the demon frog was about to attack Xiaoyin, someone suddenly launched an attack which made the demon frog fall down. Upon knowing that the attack came from Wang Ling, the demon frog argued that he only wanted to protect Xiaoyin from evil people like Tang Jingzhe. But Wang Ling didn't believe what the demon frog said, so he created a magical barrier to protect Xiaoyin. The demon frog didn't expect Wang Ling to not believe him after all the things he did and sacrificed to help Wang Ling, so he felt hurt. After creating a magical barrier to protect Xiaoyin, Wang Ling dragged the demon frog away and left. Shortly afterward, Liangji, who had been stalking Xiaoyin from behind the bushes, came out from her hiding place and was about to capture Xiaoyin using the gourd from the Beast Monster Go game. But Liangji didn't seem to know that Wang Ling had set up the magical barrier around the place, so she was bounced off while trying to catch Xiaoyin. During break time, the students were seen approaching Xiaoyin to feed her. At the same time, Master Wang suddenly appeared, because Guihao had apparently brought Xiaoyin to school without permission from the teachers. Master Wang intended to disperse the gathered students and expel Xiaoyin from the school. But after seeing Xiaoyin who was so cute and adorable, Master Wang melted and finally let Xiaoyin stay at school. On the other hand, Liangji was observing Xiaoyin and the students from a distance. One of her bodyguards then informed her that Xiaoyin was protected by the magical barrier, so Liangji had to think of another way to capture the unicorn. Liangji intended to make Xiaoyin's body much bigger, which would automatically destroy the magical barrier protecting the unicorn. After the students returned to their respective classes, Liangji secretly gave Xiaoyin a special pill that could accelerate her growth. Shortly afterward, when Master Wang was teaching the elite class students, they suddenly felt a violent vibration that turned out to be coming from Xiaoyin, who had now grown into a giant unicorn. Guahao thought that Xiaoyin might have evolved, but he simply did not expect that Xiaoyin would turn that big in such a short period of time. Lin thought that Xiaoyin might have eaten something that made the unicorn evolve so quickly in such a short time. Some students who were frightened by Xiaoyin's transformation asked Master Wang to expel Xiaoyin from the school. But Master Wang tried to defend Xiaoyin and felt confident that Xiaoyin would not cause chaos or hurt someone. But surprisingly, Xiaoyin ate a student's spirit sword and accidentally destroyed the demon frog's cage. Even so, Master Wang still defended Xiaoyin and then told the students to return to their respective classes. On the other hand, Guahao firmly told Master Wang and his schoolmates that he would be responsible for the damage caused by Xiaoyin because he was the one who had brought Xiaoyin to their school. But unexpectedly, Xiaoyin did something that upset Master Wang, so Master Wang decided to lock Xiaoyin up in the school gym and forbid Guahao and the students from giving Xiaoyin food to suppress her spiritual power so that Xiaoyin could return to normal. While Guahao and Qinchao seemed very worried about Xiaoyin because they would leave the unicorn alone, soon Rong tried to calm her friends down and assured Xiaoyin that they would definitely come to visit her the next day. On the other hand, Wang Ling was seen stroking Xiaoyin's head, trying to calm the unicorn down while saying that the legendary spirit beast was not supposed to be in the middle of a human settlement. After Wang Ling and the others left Xiaoyin in the school gym, Liangji and her bodyguards suddenly appeared, and they intended to subdue Xiaoyin and make the unicorn the pet of the Jiogong family. Liangji intends to put Xiaoyin's spiritual power into the evolution stone, which she will later use to conquer Songchai. But unexpectedly, Xiaoyin devoured the evolution stone, so Xiaoyin evolved again very quickly and became stronger than before. At the same time, Wang Ling and Guahao, who were about to check on Xiaoyin's condition, seemed surprised to see Xiaoyin, who had turned into a giant and managed to escape from the school gym. Xiaoyin, who was unable to control her power, then caused chaos in the city, so Zhuo Yi and the 7-star squad immediately rushed to form the spiritual formation to defeat Xiaoyin. Guahao, who realized that they would hurt Xiaoyin, then ventured to block Zhuo Yi in order to defend Xiaoyin, because after all, Xiaoyin was his spirit beast that he really cared about. But surprisingly, Xiaoyin, who had lost control, swallowed Guahao alive, so Zhuo Yi and his subordinates immediately activated the spiritual formation to immobilize Xiaoyin. In the meantime, Wang Ling and the demon frog were seen monitoring the situation from a distance. The demon frog then asked Wang Ling about the actions Wang Ling would take to stop Xiaoyin. Wang Ling lightly replied that he would not hurt Xiaoyin, then suddenly released the demon frog's seal so that he transformed into his original large and scary form. At the same time, Zhuo Yi, who noticed Wang Ling's presence with the demon frog, was relieved and believed that Wang Ling could stop the incident. Therefore, Zhuo Yi ordered his subordinates not to be rash in their actions or launch attacks that might harm Wang Ling. On the other hand, the demon frog seemed happy that Wang Ling had released the seal, so he did not notice Xiaoyin's attack. However, when the demon frog was about to launch a counterattack, Wang Ling immediately prevented it, as he apparently had other plans. Shortly afterward, as Xiaoyin prepared to launch a follow-up attack, the demon frog warned Wang Ling that they had to do something because Xiaoyin was about to use her ultimate technique that could endanger their lives. However, instead of telling the demon frog to launch a counterattack, Wang Ling ordered the demon frog to open his mouth wide, so Xiaoyin, who moved forward to attack the demon frog, was swallowed alive by the demon frog. After that, the demon frog absorbed all of Xiaoyin's spiritual power, so Xiaoyin vomited Guahao and the evolution stone and shrank back to normal. Knowing that the unicorn's existence in the human world was very dangerous, both for humanity and the unicorn itself, Wang Ling decided to take Xiaoyin elsewhere. With Jinka's spiritual power, Wang Ling can open an interdimensional portal, so he then opens a portal to the unicorn world, so that Xiaoyin can reunite with the other unicorns and be protected in that place. The scene then switches to the past when Wang Ling and his father are strolling through a fair. At that time, the young Wang Ling was very interested in a wooden sword that was none other than Jinka. While Wang Ling was admiring the wooden sword, his father was seen engaging in a conversation with the seller, where they discussed an ancient sword that was said to be the most historic treasure. The salesman tried to convince Wang Ling's father that the ancient sword was a legendary sword used by cultivators to slay dragons. However, Wang Ling's father doubted that, as the sword looked like an imitation. Realizing that the salesman was trying to cheat him by offering a fake sword, Wang Ling's father became upset and took Wang Ling away. While his father led him away, Wang Ling kept looking at Jinka, as if the wooden sword was begging Wang Ling to take it away with him. In the present, Guo was seen telling the story of the 4 strongest swordsmen who dueled each other for the title of the world's greatest swordsman. Guo tells his friends that the 4 swordsmen have such incredible strength that the energy of their fight can be felt by everyone who witnesses the fight. In the middle of the fight, the 4 swordsmen were surprised by the appearance of a mysterious woman who challenged them to a fight with her. Because the mysterious woman seemed to underestimate the swordsman's abilities, they then launched attacks at the mysterious woman in unison. Surprisingly, the mysterious woman easily defeated the 4 swordsmen and then scoffed at them, before leaving the scene. Qin Chao, who heard this, was shocked and did not believe Guo's story, as the 4 swordsmen were known to be great fighters. So it seemed impossible that they could be defeated so easily by a woman. However, Guo insisted that he was telling the truth, so they got into a long argument, before Master Wang finally broke them up and told Qin Chao and Wang Ling to enter the arena to show their spiritual sword skills. Before the fight, Qin Chao warned Wang Ling to replace his spiritual sword, as Qin Chao refused to compensate if he accidentally broke Wang Ling's wooden sword. However, Wang Ling insisted that he would still use the wooden sword because Jinka was the greatest spiritual sword he had at the moment. When Qin Chao started to launch an attack using his spiritual sword, Lin Chao, unexpectedly, Jinka managed to block the attack as well as bend Lin Chao. So Qin Chao was unable to continue the fight. On the other hand, Wang Ling, who had won the fight, wondered why Jinka was fighting seriously. Even though he had told Jinka to hold back his spiritual power so as not to damage his schoolmate's spiritual sword. Wang Ling then asked Jinka directly, but Jinka did not show any response. In the next battle, Wang Ling will face Sun Rong, who has a pretty powerful spiritual sword called Aohai. However, Sun Rong seemed to have difficulty controlling Aohai, which seemed to be controlled by something, and surprisingly, Aohai stuck to Jinka, who seemed to have a huge magnetic field. The match was finally stopped because Jinka and Aohai were stuck together, and they had difficulty separating them. Upon seeing this, Lin, who used to be the spiritual sword caretaker, assumed that Jinka might have reached the awakening stage. Lin explained that a spiritual sword that has reached the awakening stage will become irritable and may rebel against its master, which in turn creates a magnetic field on the spiritual sword. Since Qin Chao's spiritual sword was male, Jinka's magnetic field deflected the attack, causing Lin Chao to bend. On the other hand, Jinka automatically became attracted to the female Aohai, so the two stuck together and became difficult to separate. Lin then suggested that they take Jinka and Aohai to a more experienced spiritual sword caretaker to solve the problem. The next day, Lin brought her friends to the sword's graveyard, which was now her residence. Lin explained that spiritual swords that were not forged properly or that were no longer in use would be sent to the sword's graveyard. Besides, the sword's graveyard was where Lin had lived as a child, so she was already familiar with the place despite it being in a remote area and far from residential areas. Lin then introduced her friends to her older sister, Jian Ling, who was a highly experienced professional spiritual sword caretaker. After Jian Ling checked Lin Chao's condition, she said that Lin Chao only received minor injuries, so Chen Chao had nothing to worry about. Afterward, when Wang Ling was about to separate Jinka and Aohai, Jinka suddenly moved towards Jian Ling and clung to her. Jian Ling immediately realized that Jinka had reached the awakening stage. But she felt amazed because it was the first time for her to encounter a spiritual sword that had such a large magnetic field. On the other hand, Wang Ling's classmates questioned why a wooden sword like Jinka could have such a large magnetic field. Jian Ling then explained that the magnetic field possessed by the spiritual sword was created due to the psychological problems experienced by the spiritual sword who had reached the awakening stage. Therefore, Jinka needed proper guidance to deal with the psychological problems he was experiencing. In the middle of the conversation, Zhuo Yi and the members of the 7-star squad suddenly came to the place and seemed surprised to meet Wang Ling and his classmates. Zhuo Yi then asked why Jinka was attached to Jian Ling, but they asked Zhuo Yi and his subordinates not to care about that. Zhuo Yi then explained their purpose in coming to that place, where they wanted to ask Jian Ling for help in repairing their spiritual sword. Zhuo Yi told them that a swordswoman was causing chaos in the city as she challenged the warriors to fight with her, so Zhuo Yi and the 7-star squad had to stop the swordswoman. However, they were easily defeated by the swordswoman, which caused their spiritual sword to be damaged and bent. Since they could not fight without the spiritual sword, they rushed to Jian Ling and asked for her help. Furthermore, Zhuo Yi explained that the swordswoman was using a wooden sword that had a huge magnetic field. Upon hearing that, Qin Chao and the others immediately turned their heads towards Wang Ling because the spiritual sword owned by the swordswoman was exactly the same as Jinka. At the same time, Shui received a phone call informing him that the swordswoman had reappeared and was causing chaos. Upon knowing that Shui and the 7-star squad couldn't fight because their spiritual sword was broken, Sun Rong and the others decided to fight the swordswoman. Although they were high school students, Shui never underestimated their strength as they had defeated demons, and on top of that, Shui trusted his master, Wang Ling, completely, so he let them fight against the swordswoman. Meanwhile, the swordswoman was basking in the glory of no one being able to defeat her, and scoffed at the warriors fighting against her. Liangji, who was observing the fight from a distance, wondered why the swordswoman could possess such a powerful spiritual sword that no one could match her. Not long after, Liangji noticed Shui's presence, so she ordered her swordsmen to retreat and leave everything to Shui and the 7-star squad, while she left the place with her bodyguards. On the other hand, the swordswoman was aware of the attacks coming her way, and at the same time, Guahao appeared on the scene and used his spiritual sword to launch an attack from underground. However, the swordswoman managed to dodge the attack, and even parried the attacks from Sun Rong and Lin, who launched simultaneous attacks. Shui, who saw the battle, then praised his disciples' abilities, even though they were unable to match the swordswoman who had greater fighting skills than them. Wang Ling then told Jinka to fight against the swordswoman, but Jinka refused and continued to stick to Jian Ling, because Jinka had crush on Jian Ling, who was indeed a very beautiful woman. Realizing that Jinka had crush on her, Jian Ling then told Jinka that she liked the strong spiritual sword who was willing to use his strength to help and protect others. Upon hearing that, Jinka confirmed to Jian Ling that he was the strongest spiritual sword. When Jinka said that, the swordswoman immediately noticed Jinka's presence, and immediately darted towards Jinka. At the same time, Wang Ling finally remembered about the swordswoman, and the scene switched to the past when Wang Ling asked his father to buy him the wooden sword he saw at the fair. Wang Ling's father complied with his son's request and immediately bought the wooden sword for Wang Ling. After the salesman handed the wooden sword to Wang Ling, he asked about the scabbard that every sword should have. But the salesman told Wang Ling that the wooden sword did not have a scabbard, when in fact, the scabbard was hidden by the salesman. Despite not getting the scabbard, Wang Ling still took the wooden sword and kept it until today. In the present, Wang Ling finally realizes that the swordswoman is the scabbard of the wooden sword he bought a few years ago. Which means that the swordswoman is none other than Jinka's older sister, Jingi, who has been looking for Jinka's whereabouts because they are a unity that should not be separated. After the incident, the mass media reported that the mysterious swordswoman had been defeated by the 7-star squad, even though Wang Ling had solved the problem very easily. But as usual, Wang Ling didn't want people's attention on him, so he asked Shui to take care of everything and let him live a quiet and peaceful life. On the other hand, Shui was relieved that Wang Ling had finally found the scabbard he had been looking for, because no matter how powerful the spiritual sword was, they still needed a scabbard that was both their protector and support to deal with the psychological problems that often arose as their strength increased significantly. For causing the chaos that led to the warriors' spiritual swords being damaged, Jingi was sentenced to repair the spiritual swords that had been damaged by her. Some time later, a cultivator named Lord Thunder was seen on his way to a place on a train. At the same time, Zhuyi and the 7-star squad also boarded the same train to catch a group of men who stole the most valuable auction item. However, Zhuyi and his team seemed overwhelmed by the thieves who managed to get the valuable item and deliberately separated the train carriages so that Zhuyi and his team could not catch up with them. Lord Thunder, who saw this, then met Zhuyi and showed him a gourd that was the most valuable auction item that should have fallen into the hands of the thieves. Elsewhere, the thieves turned out to be Liangji's men who wanted to get the valuable item without having to spend money in the auction. However, unbeknownst to Liangji and her subordinates, Lord Thunder had switched the gourd, so that the gourd stolen by Liangji's men contained explosives that automatically detonated when they reached a certain distance. A few days later, the world's largest auction was held in Songchai, where all the major sects and the most influential wealthy families sent their delegates to attend the annual auction. Liangji was seen entering the building where the auction was held, as well as Tang Jingzhe, who came to the auction with his parents. On the other hand, Zhuyi was seen observing the entrance of the auction building along with Lord Thunder, where Zhuyi then thanked Lord Thunder for securing the most valuable action item that was about to be stolen some time ago. Zhuyi, who was in charge of securing the transportation of the auction items to the auction building, then told Lord Thunder he would be attending the auction, although he would not be participating because he did not have enough money. Lord Thunder said that he would also attend the auction because he didn't want to miss the chance to see the auction items, which were mostly the world's most valuable treasures that might not appear anywhere else. In the meantime, Wang Ling was seen playing cards with a boy named Ken at a restaurant. Wang Ling seemed to frown because it turned out that his cards were not good, so he felt hesitant to determine his next move. Ken, who realized that Wang Ling was in a vulnerable position, pulled out one of his strongest cards, the six-armed gorilla, and easily defeated Wang Ling. For the first time in his life, Wang Ling felt weak and helpless, even though he was the most powerful person in the entire universe. Ken then told Wang Ling that the reason Wang Ling could lose was because Wang Ling didn't have the powerful card, which was the most important point in the game. Meanwhile, the Shanghai Autumn Auction finally began. The host told the attendees that they had collected over 10,000 items from all over the world for the auction, and selected a dozen of the best and most valuable items in this auction. The first item featured in the auction was the remnant of a heavenly book, and the price offered started at 1 million spiritual coins. Within seconds, the price of the ancient book had doubled, which left Zhou Yi dumbfounded as wealthy families such as the Tang family and Sun family vied for the ancient book. Next to him, Lord Thunder seemed unsurprised and told Zhou Yi that the ancient book was no ordinary book as it contained the legendary forbidding spell. Lord Thunder then told Zhou Yi that the Tang family and Sun family had established a business in the West 3,000 years ago, where they had agreed to create an unbreakable spell to prevent any cheating that might be committed by both parties. Although the participants attending the auction kept their identities a secret, Lord Thunder could easily guess the identities of the Tang family and Sun family from the way they bid for the remnant of a heavenly book which was a precious treasure in their family history. Zhou Yi, who was impressed by Lord Thunder's keen observation, asked why Lord Thunder didn't bid for the precious ancient book. Lord Thunder lightly replied that he didn't want to get involved in the feud between Tang family and Sun family. But the real reason is because Lord Thunder is not from a rich family. The scene then switched and showed Wang Ling, who went to the convenience store to buy 2 boxes of crispy noodles, his favorite snack. The reason Wang Ling bought so many crispy noodles was because inside the package was a card that he used to play with Ken. Wang Ling hoped to find the golden card that was much stronger than the 6-armed gorilla in order to defeat Ken. When Wang Ling opened the first pack, he looked disappointed to find a weak card. Some children who saw this encouraged Wang Ling because after all, Wang Ling still had 2 boxes of crispy noodles, so Wang Ling still had many chances to get the golden card. At the auction site, Zhou Yi seemed surprised to find out that they were going to auction off a sweatpants with the initials WL on the waist. Lord Thunder told Zhou Yi that the WL's sweatpants were no ordinary pants as it's bulletproof and believed to be the supreme cultivator's pants that could withstand even a nuclear bomb attack. Elsewhere, Wang Ling's mother, who was about to do the laundry, was seen looking for Wang Ling's sweatpants in a pile of dirty clothes. Not finding the sweatpants, she asked her husband, who told her that he had thrown away the sweatpants which were taken by someone who then made the sweatpants as the valuable item in the auction. Back to the auction, the participants are seen vying for Wang Ling's sweatpants, including Zhou Yi. Although in the end Zhou Yi can only surrender because all the savings he has are not even enough to fulfill the first bidding requirement of the item. Tang family was likely to get Wang Ling's sweatpants as they submitted the highest bidding price, while Sun family chose to save their money for more valuable items. Surprisingly, Liangji submitted a much higher bidding price than Tang family, even though her bodyguard advised her not to squander money on the sweatpants. However, Liangji insisted that she had calculated everything and would get all the treasure she wanted. Meanwhile, Wang Ling still hadn't found the golden card, even though he had opened all the packages of crispy noodles he had bought. Some of the children who saw this chose to leave Wang Ling because they thought that Wang Ling had bad luck that might spread to them if they continued to be near Wang Ling. At the same time, Wang Ling saw the auction being broadcast live on television and found out that his sweatpants had sold for a pretty high price. Shortly afterward, the host showed the sealed white-eyed blue dragon, an omnipotent wish box that could fulfill any wishes, which was about to be stolen by Liangji's men. Seeing that, the attendees were dumbfounded as they had no idea that the white-eyed blue dragon would be auctioned at the event, so they vied for the most valuable auction item. Even though the starting price started at 10 million spiritual coins, even the Tang family and Sun family were willing to give up their entire fortunes to get their hands on the white-eyed blue dragon that could grant any wish. Liangji then bid 40 million, which instantly silenced all the participants in the auction, including the Tang family and Sun family, who eventually chose to withdraw. When Liangji felt confident that no one would be able to bid higher than her, Lord Thunder suddenly raised his hand and bid the white-eyed blue dragon for 45 million spiritual coins. Zhou Yi, who saw this, then wondered why Lord Thunder dared to bid when he claimed that he was a poor man. Lord Thunder told him that he was indeed a poor man, but he had earned quite a lot of money because the WL's sweatpants was an item that he listed in the auction and sold for a high price. So he confidently bid for the white blue-eyed dragon. At the same time, Zhui got a phone call from Wang Ling telling him to bid 87 million for the white-eyed blue dragon. Since no one was able to bid higher than Wang Ling, the host decided that Zhui representing Wang Ling would officially get the white-eyed blue dragon that could grant any wish. Later that night, when Zhui was about to meet Wang Ling, Lord Thunder secretly followed him and observed them from a distance. Lord Thunder did not expect that Zhui was actually ordered by a high school student to get the most valuable item. But Lord Thunder felt confident that Wang Ling could not break the seal of the white-eyed blue dragon, because only he could break the seal. But surprisingly, Wang Ling was able to easily destroy the gourd and free the dragon trapped inside. However, instead of making a wish to the powerful white-eyed blue dragon, Wang Ling slashed the dragon and made the most powerful dragon in the world as the golden card that he would use to defeat Ken. Some time later, Guahao seemed to be unhappy with the demon slayers who roamed Songchai, as the demon slayers often acted as they pleased, which then disturbed the comfort of the residents. At the same time, Guahao, who was about to head to school with Wang Ling, was surprised by a rider who rode his motorcycle at high speed, and endangering the safety of others. Guahao then yelled at the rider, who he assumed to be a demon slayer, and hoped that the 7-star squad could deal with the demon slayers who often acted arbitrarily, and put them in jail. But then, the rider suddenly made a U-turn and headed towards them. Upon seeing that, Guahao suddenly felt panicked and thought that the rider might have heard his ramblings and would take revenge. Guahao then asked Wang Ling to run away because he was sure that the rider was the demon slayer who might attack them. Guahao said this while embracing Wang Ling's arm because he was actually afraid of the demon slayers who were notorious for being ruffians. But surprisingly, the rider turned out to be Qin Chao, who had now become part of the demon slayers. Shortly afterward, the students of Faction 60 High School were seen talking about Qin Chao, who had become a demon slayer and changed his appearance like a thug. They simply did not expect that Qin Chao, who was known as the president of the elite class, decided to become the demon slayer, even daring to wear other clothes to school, which was an offense. Guahao then went to the food stall in the school to buy gum, but he was not served by the stall keeper because he was not wearing the school's uniform. Upon seeing that, Guahao immediately took Qin Chao away from the place, while Wang Ling bought the crispy noodles, which was his favorite snack. Guahao then asked about Qin Chao, who changed drastically after he became a demon slayer. Qin Chao told Guahao that he had joined the demon slayer force that had given him the outfit, and also gave him an iron rod that could be used as a weapon to fight demons. Upon learning that, Guahao tried to convince his best friend, because as a student of Faction 60 High School who was also the president of the elite class, Qin Chao should not join an organization whose members were from other countries. But Qin Chao completely ignored Guahao's words as he insisted that he had the right to join any organization and also determine the style that suited him. Qin Chao then warns Guahao not to interfere in his business, because Qin Chao believes that their school uniforms have a monotonous and outdated design. In the midst of their argument, Wang Ling then told them that Pan Shichong had been watching them since earlier. Pan Shichong then scolded Qin Chao for breaking the rules while advising him not to get involved with organizations that are not affiliated with the school. However, Qin Chao seemed to be firm on his stance to become the demon slayer, so they got into a heated argument. On the other hand, Sun Rong, who seemed worried about Qin Chao because he changed drastically after joining the demon slayer force, suggested that they must tell Qin Chao's father about him. However, Guahao rejected the idea because Qin Chao's father was a very strict and stubborn person, and he would even kill Qin Chao if he found out that his son had broken the school rules and became a demon slayer, which was very contrary to his ideals of making Qin Chao a great cultivator so that he could become the successor of the Qin family that everyone respected. Even so, they could not stay silent, because Qin Chao was their friend and they could not let Qin Chao get into trouble. At the same time, Wang Ling came up with an idea to uncover the true nature of the demon slayers. But in order to carry out the plan, they had to use someone as bait to find out the true nature of the demon slayers who often roamed the streets. The next day, Wang Ling and Guahao then carried out their plan by asking Sun Rong to deliberately approach the demon slayers. While Wang Ling and Guahao would observe Sun Rong from a distance, and record the demon slayers' actions if they did anything indecent to Sun Rong. Guahao hopes that they can record the crimes committed by the demon slayers, so that Qin Chao will know their true nature and realize his mistake after knowing everything. Although she wanted to help her classmates, Sun Rong did not deny that she was afraid that they would hurt her. Upon hearing that, Guahao then assured Sun Rong that they would continue to monitor Sun Rong while protecting her from a distance. Later that afternoon, Sun Rong was seen walking down a deserted alley, where the demon slayers were standing guard. When Sun Rong saw them coming, one of them greeted her and approached her. When he was about to take off his jacket while talking to Sun Rong, Wang Ling and Guo Hao thought that he would do something indecent to Sun Rong. But unexpectedly, he laid his jacket on the dirt so that Sun Rong could pass through without stepping on the dirt. Afterwards, they invited Sun Rong to leave and warned her not to walk alone through deserted alleys because the demons usually hide in places where people rarely pass through. Guo Hao and Wang Ling, who witnessed this from a distance, were shocked because they did not expect the demon slayers to be kind to Sun Rong. Instead of recording the demon slayers' evil actions, they witnessed the kindness that the demon slayers showed to Sun Rong. Nevertheless, Guo Hao still felt certain that the demon slayers were not the good guys that they had just shown them to be. Shortly afterward, they saw the demon slayers by the roadside, where they were observing an old lady who was about to cross the road. Instead of helping the old woman, they were just observing her, as if they were eyeing something. Upon seeing that, Wang Ling assumed that they were probably about to rob the old lady, as she was carrying a fairly expensive branded bag, which indicated that the old lady probably had a lot of money or valuable things in her bag. At the same time, Qin Chao suddenly appeared and walked up to the old lady to help her cross the street. The demon slayers who saw Qin Chao's arrival then rushed over to Qin Chao to warn him because the old lady turned out to be a demon in disguise. However, they were too late because the demon had shown its true form and attacked Qin Chao. Upon seeing Qin Chao in danger, Guo Hao and Sun Rong rushed to help Qin Chao and finally managed to defeat the demon with the help of Qin Chao and the demon slayers. After realizing that the demon slayers were not bad people as they had thought, Guo Hao and Sun Rong then apologized to them for having prejudiced the demon slayers. One of the demon slayers named Jin Dao said that they understood Guo Hao and Sun Rong and didn't mind at all if the Songchai townspeople thought badly of them, because after all, the demon slayers were foreigners who were not Songchai citizens. Although the demon slayers are often looked down upon and suspected by the Songchai townspeople, Jin Dao insists that they will fight tooth and nail to protect everyone from the demons' attacks. Jin Dao and the demon slayers from Taiyang Islands hope that their fight against the demons will be supported by the Songchai townspeople, so that the cooperative relationship between Huaxiu and Taiyang Island can go well. Upon seeing the spiritual power that Guo Hao and Sun Rong possessed while fighting against the demons, Jin Dao then offered them to become the demon slayers together with Qin Chao. When Guo Hao and Sun Rong seemed to welcome the offer, Jin Dao said that he would not include Wang Ling because he thought that Wang Ling was a weak young man and his spiritual power level was very low. Jin Dao thought that Wang Ling would only cause them trouble and become a burden if he joined the demon slayer force. Later that night, Qin Chao met Wang Ling and told him that he would try to convince Jin Dao to accept Wang Ling as part of the demon slayer force. Although Wang Ling said that he had no interest in becoming a demon slayer, Qin Chao still insisted that he would convince Jin Dao to accept Wang Ling as a demon slayer. Qin Chao then revealed to Wang Ling that his father was disappointed in him and kicked him out because Qin Chao had failed the exam and making his spiritual sword crooked. In the midst of his despair, Qin Chao was suddenly attacked by a scary demon. Qin Chao tried to face the demon, but he could not do much, until finally the demon managed to corner him. Fortunately, Jin Dao and the demon slayers arrived in time to save Qin Chao. After defeating the demon, Jin Dao then offered Qin Chao to join them as part of the demon slayer force. Since Qin Chao currently had no purpose in life and had been expelled by his father, Qin Chao immediately accepted the offer. When Qin Chao and Wang Ling were about to meet Jin Dao to convince the demon slayer to accept Wang Ling as part of the demon slayer force, Qin Chao was very surprised to find Jin Dao, who turned out to be working with the demon who previously disguised himself as the old lady. Jin Dao and the demon slayers deliberately ordered the demons to create chaos in Songchai by promising a sizable payoff if the demons were willing to be defeated by the demon slayers, who were actually much weaker than the cultivators. Upon learning that, Qin Chao became very shocked because he did not expect that Jin Dao and the demon slayers had deceived him and the people of Songchai by pretending to be their protectors from the demons. On the other hand, Jin Dao, who realized Qin Chao's presence, then ordered his subordinates and the demons to silence Qin Chao by killing him. When Qin Chao tried to fight them using his iron rod, the demons told him that the iron rod did not work on them at all, because Jin Dao actually only wanted to play with Qin Chao when giving the iron rod to him. At the same time, Qin Chao was suddenly possessed by a demon that tried to take over his body. Upon seeing that, Jin Dao asked Wang Ling to surrender because Qin Chao had been possessed by a demon, so he would not be able to save Wang Ling. However, the demons were not a match for Wang Ling as he was the one who had destroyed the demon world, so he could easily defeat them. On the other hand, Qin Chao, who had been possessed by a demon, then attacked Wang Ling, but Wang Ling managed to dodge the attack, and immediately pressed his fingers on Qin Chao's forehead and automatically exorcised the demon that possessed Qin Chao. After defeating Jin Dao and his subordinates, Wang Ling pretended to faint and claimed not to know anything when Qin Chao, who had regained consciousness, asked about what had happened at that place. The next day, a man was seen knocking on the door of the Demon Slayer headquarters, where he was a member of the 7-Star Squad who was undercover on orders from Zhuo Yi, who was investigating the Demon Slayers. Zhuo Yi and the 7-Star Squad had apparently suspected that the Demon Slayers were involved in the recent demon attacks. Receiving no response, Zhuo Yi and one of his men broke down the door of the Demon Slayers' headquarters and were shocked to find the demons in the place. Seeing the large number of demons gathered at the headquarters, Zhuo Yi's subordinates chose to flee, leaving Zhuo Yi to face the demons alone. At the same time, Wang Ling, who was riding his bicycle to somewhere, accidentally passed by the place and found Zhuo Yi, who was being beaten by the demons. Upon seeing that, Wang Ling rushed to attack the demons to save Zhuo Yi. Shortly afterward, Zhuo Yi's subordinate returned to the place with his comrades to help Zhuo Yi fight the demons. Surprisingly, they found that the demons had been defeated, and Zhuo Yi told them that he was the one who had defeated the demons by himself. However, unbeknownst to Zhuo Yi and Wang Ling, someone had deliberately placed a CCTV camera in the place and recorded everything that happened there. A few days later, Zhuo Yi, who had recovered from his injuries, was seen preparing to attend a press conference to discuss the incident of the demons attacking Song Chai. As Zhuo Yi climbed the podium to deliver his speech, he found Wang Ling and his schoolmates sitting in the audience to show their appreciation for his hard work. Zhuo Yi then told about the incident of the attack by the demon frog 10 years ago, when Zhuo Yi was still the apprentice of 7-Star Squa. Zhuo Yi remembered this incident, because the demon frog was one of the strongest demon kings and it was impossible for them to defeat him. Even so, Zhuo Yi fought tenaciously to save everyone, including Wang Ling, who was very close to the demon frog. Without any fear, Zhuo Yi tried to protect Wang Ling from the demon frog, and without realizing it, he unleashed such a powerful force that he finally defeated the demon frog. After the incident, Zhuo Yi decided to devote himself as Song Chai's protector, and Zhuo Yi explained several incidents that he managed to overcome with the 7-Star Squad in front of the audience. He explained that the attack by the demons some time ago had created a loophole that was then utilized by the demons to invade the human world. So the demons roamed around and caused chaos in the human world. However, Zhuo Yi assured the people of Song Chai that they had nothing to worry about, as he had destroyed the demons' hideouts and locked up the hundreds of demons that had been attacking and troubling the people of Song Chai. Zhuo Yi also promised that he and the 7-Star Squad would continue to keep Song Chai safe and peaceful. As everyone praised and applauded Zhuo Yi, the monitor on stage suddenly displayed CCTV footage of Zhuo Yi being beaten by the demons. Shortly afterward, a bolt of lightning was seen knocking out the demons, and a young man, none other than Wang Ling, was seen approaching Zhuo Yi to help him. As a result of the CCTV footage, Zhuo Yi was immediately deemed a fraud because he had previously claimed that he was the one who had defeated the demons. The footage soon went viral on social media, and Zhuo Yi became a trending topic for everyone to talk about. Most of whom were disappointed in Zhuo Yi and cornered Zhuo Yi by writing hate comments and bad judgments about Zhuo Yi. However, Qin Chao and Guo Hao tried to defend Zhuo Yi as they were convinced that the footage had been manipulated to frame Zhuo Yi. However, they have nothing to prove their defense of Zhuo Yi. Not only that, Faction 60 High School, which is affiliated with Zhuo Yi, immediately cut their ties with Zhuo Yi and asked the public not to implicate their school with Zhuo Yi's disgraceful actions. On the other hand, the person who deliberately placed the CCTV camera in the place is none other than Liang Ji, who intends to remove Zhuo Yi from Song Chai, as Zhuo Yi can thwart her plan to take control of Song Chai City. Meanwhile, Zhuo Yi, who had returned to the 7-Star Squad headquarters, rushed to meet his superior and tried to explain everything. But his superior, who was already disappointed in Zhuo Yi for lying to everyone, decided to fire Zhuo Yi from the 7-Star Squad and asked Zhuo Yi to hand over his sword and his badge. Realizing that he could not persuade his superior to change the decision regarding his dismissal, Zhuo Yi could only surrender and hand over all his attributes as part of the 7-Star Squad. Afterwards, Zhuo Yi met up with his subordinates, who seemed anxious about the difficult situation that Zhuo Yi was now facing. Not wanting to worry them, Zhuo Yi asked them not to worry about him and told them to focus on maintaining security and protecting the people of Song Chai from all dangerous threats. When Zhuo Yi arrived at the parking lot, he remembered that he had left his car keys in his office. Zhuo Yi was going to get his sword, but he remembered that he had handed over his sword. Therefore, Zhuo Yi decided to go back to his office to retrieve his car keys. However, Zhuo Yi was surprised to find his former colleague celebrating his dismissal from the 7-Star Squad with great joy. Because it turned out that Zhuo Yi had always worked hard to protect Song Chai City, so he had unknowingly asked them to work overtime. With Zhuyi fired as the captain of the 7-star squad, they could finally feel a little relieved and would probably be able to laze around without Zhuyi scolding them. Knowing that his presence was no longer wanted by his former colleagues, Zhuyi chose to leave as he did not want to disturb their fun. Zhuyi finally left the 7-star squad headquarters and walked back to his home. On the way, it suddenly rained, so Zhuyi decided to buy an umbrella. However, with the news of him being labeled a liar spreading, the people of Songchai began to hate him, including the man at the shop who wouldn't even sell him an umbrella. Upon seeing how the man treated him, Zhuyi could only resign himself to the fact that he couldn't do anything to defend himself. In the midst of his despair, Zhuyi suddenly saw a man wearing a hooded raincoat to protect himself from the rain. However, Zhuyi immediately knew that the man was a demon in disguise, so he hurried to follow him. When he lost track of him in a deserted alley, Zhuyi realized that he had been set up by the demon after he and the other demons surrounded him. Zhuyi assumed that the demons had set him up by spreading the CCTV footage at the demon slayer's headquarters. But they denied the accusation and told him that they had been commissioned by someone to kill him. Since Zhuyi no longer had the spiritual sword, he was unable to fight back, so the demons could easily corner him. At the same time, Wang Ling suddenly appeared on the scene to save Zhuyi. Wang Ling was able to easily defeat the demons and miraculously made the cloudy weather become clear. When Wang Ling was about to erase Zhuyi's memories, he suddenly realized that he had been the one who had manipulated Zhuyi's memories, so he indirectly had a hand in what happened to Zhuyi. When he meets Wang Ling, Zhuyi realizes that he has been living in a false memory, so he confirms what everyone says about him being a fraud. Zhuyi then asked Wang Ling why he chose him to receive all the praise. Wang Ling said that Zhuyi deserved all the praise because he had worked so hard to protect everyone. Zhuyi even risked his own life to save Wang Ling from the demon frog's attack, although in the end it was Wang Ling who saved Zhuyi and defeated the demon frog. Wang Ling then offered Zhuyi 2 pills. The blue pill would make Zhuyi forget the incident that happened 2 days ago, and Wang Ling would modify everyone's memories of Zhuyi, so that Zhuyi would still be considered a hero. The red pill had the same effect, but with a strawberry flavor. Surprisingly, Zhuyi firmly rejected Wang Ling's offer, telling Wang Ling that he really wanted to be a hero, but he also realized that he didn't have enough strength to protect everyone. So Zhuyi asked Wang Ling to train him so that he could become stronger. Upon hearing that, Wang Ling accepted Zhuyi as his disciple and sent Zhuyi abroad to train. The next day, Zhuyi was seen at the airport preparing to go abroad to start his training. On the other hand, Liangji, who found out that Zhuyi had left Songchai, was smiles as she managed to get rid of Zhuyi, who was the biggest threat in her plan to rule Songchai. A few days later, Guahao and Qingqiao, who were at the school cafeteria, were seen discussing about the holy ritual celebration that would be held at the heavenly paradise. Guahao asked about who Qingqiao would invite to the sacred ritual celebration since they are required to have a partner to enter the heavenly paradise. Qingqiao intended to invite Lin, but Lin immediately rejected the invitation while telling Qingqiao that she had to work during the sacred ritual celebration. Guahao, who heard this, laughed at Qingqiao and told him that he would invite Liangji to the sacred ritual celebration. Guahao felt confident that Liangji would accept his invitation because Liangji had never been to the heavenly paradise, so she would definitely want to go to the amusement park during the sacred ritual celebration this time. Qingqiao actually wanted to invite Sun Rong to the sacred ritual celebration, as he still had romantic feelings for Sun Rong. But Qingqiao was pessimistic that Sun Rong would accept his invitation, as he was nothing compared to Sun Rong, who came from a wealthy family and had quite formidable spiritual powers. Upon realizing that, Guahao then encouraged his best friend to have the courage to invite Sun Rong to the holy ritual celebration. Receiving support from his best friend, Qingqiao felt confident to invite Sun Rong to the special event. But when Qingqiao was about to meet Sun Rong, he instead saw Sun Rong, who approached Wang Ling and invited him to the sacred ritual celebration. Upon hearing Wang Ling accepting the invitation, Qingqiao immediately became heartbroken, because Sun Rong already had a date who would accompany her during the holy ritual celebration at the heavenly paradise. In the afternoon, Qingqiao met Guahao, who looked sad and disappointed that his invitation was rejected by Liangji. They then embraced each other, as they cried over their bad luck in love. The following night, Guahao was seen already in front of the gate of the heavenly paradise, where he was waiting for Qingqiao, who was still stuck in traffic on the road. Shortly afterward, Wang Ling finally arrived at the heavenly paradise and met Guahao, who was waiting at the gate. Seeing Wang Ling, who came alone, Guahao thought that Sun Rong had dumped Wang Ling. In fact, Sun Rong had come to the heavenly paradise earlier to deliver a speech at the opening of the sacred ritual, a tradition that had been practiced by the Sun family for thousands of years. Sun Rong told the visitors that they had provided various types of food that could be enjoyed for free by the visitors, and that the highlight of the sacred ritual celebration would be held at 11 o'clock in the evening, at which time, Jingu Bang, the magical staff which was the Sun family's most precious treasure, would be displayed in front of the visitors. After giving her speech, Sun Rong opened the sacred ritual event and invited the visitors to enter the heavenly paradise. While her bodyguard asked Wan Ling to enter through the VIP lane so that he wouldn't have to wait in line. After walking around, Sun Rong then invited Wan Ling to have dinner at her house, because Sun Rong's parents were not at home. Wan Ling accepted the invitation as long as Sun Rong provided the crispy noodles for him. Since Sun Rong agreed to Wan Ling's request, they then rushed to the Sun family residence for dinner. However, Sun Rong was surprised to find her grandfather, Yuan, at her house and invited them to have dinner together. During dinner, Yuan asked about Sun Rong and Wan Ling's relationship, as he thought that they were dating. When Sun Rong was about to explain her relationship with Wan Ling, her grandfather told her to shut up and let Wan Ling answer the question. Wan Ling answered all of Yuan's questions frankly, but Yuan was annoyed because he thought that Wan Ling was being condescending. Yuan then inquired about Wan Ling's cultivation level, and was shocked to learn that Wan Ling was much weaker than his granddaughter. Yuan was furious that Sun Rong was dating such a weak and useless man, saying that Sun Rong would sooner or later destroy the Sun family if she continued her romantic relationship with Wan Ling. Yuan intended to expel Wan Ling from the Sun family residence, but his bodyguard immediately prevented him from doing so as he reminded him of the Sun family's matchmaking rules. Because no matter what, Yuan had to abide by the rules that their ancestors had made thousands of years ago. Upon hearing that, Yuan finally gave Wan Ling 3 tests if Wan Ling intended to marry Sun Rong and become part of the Sun family. To perform the first test, Yuan took Wan Ling and Sun Rong to the playground in the heavenly paradise square. As they were about to head to the venue, the champagne tower suddenly collapsed and the surrounding area became dirty with puddles of water and broken shards. Wan Ling and Sun Rong ignored this, however, and continued on their way to the test venue. Upon arriving at the arena, Yuan challenged Wan Ling to a game that would test the amount of physical strength a person possessed. In the game, Yuan managed to get the highest score and break the record, although he was disappointed because when he was younger, he was able to achieve a higher score. Yuan and his bodyguard seemed to underestimate Wan Ling when it was Wan Ling's turn to play the game. Although Wan Ling only used a fraction of his immense power, Wan Ling was able to defeat Yuan in the game. In the next test, Yuan challenged Wan Ling to archery lanterns located on a hill quite far away from the venue. Yuan then shot his arrow which finally hit the target and confidently said that Wan Ling would not be able to beat him in this test. Although Yuan often mentally intimidated him, Wan Ling didn't care at all and did all the challenges given by Yuan. Yuan and his bodyguards thought that Wan Ling had failed the test because his arrow missed the target. But Wan Ling asked them to wait, saying that the arrow was currently circling the earth. Shortly afterward, Wan Ling's arrow finally appeared and absurdly managed to hit the target from the opposite direction. Since Wan Ling had surprisingly completed 2 exams perfectly, Yuan decided to challenge Wan Ling to a fight with him in the final exam. Yuan then took Wan Ling and Sun Rong to the Sun family's weapons room which contained many of the Sun family's ultimate and legendary weapons. Wan Ling, who didn't want to take any chances, chose a red staff that was stuck into a rock to prevent him from accidentally hurting Yuan. Upon seeing Wan Ling easily pull the staff out of its place, Yuan and Sun Rong were shocked to find out that the magical staff was the Sun family's most precious treasure, weighing more than 5 tons. Yuan was still in shock because the staff was supposed to be pulled out by the founders of the Sun family, and for thousands of years, no one had managed to lift it. Therefore, Yuan wondered why Wan Ling could easily lift the staff as if nothing. Wan Ling, who didn't want others to know about his immense power, hurriedly returned the staff to its place, and at the same time, there was a powerful vibration when Wan Ling put the staff into place. Yuan and his bodyguards then prostrated themselves before Wan Ling after they saw firsthand that Wan Ling could lift the magical staff that was the Sun family's most precious treasure. Some time later, Sun Rong and Wan Ling then went to the heavenly paradise square to celebrate the culmination of the sacred ritual by flying lanterns and viewing the magical staff that would be displayed in the center of the pond. While Wan Ling and the others were enjoying the event, a demon could be seen stalking them from a distance, as if it was after something. Shortly afterward, the visitors were getting ready to see the magical staff, which was the Sun family's treasure, displayed in the center of the pond. However, they were shocked to find out that the staff had been stolen by someone. On the other hand, Yuan immediately suspects Wan Ling as the one who stole the magical staff, as only Wan Ling can pull the staff out of its place. The scene then switches to the morning before the holy ritual begins and shows Liangji who has just woken up. Liangji, who realized something, rushed out of her room and found a crow that represented her father. Liangji immediately knelt before the crow and saluted him as if the crow was her own father. Through the crow, her father then told Liangji about the Sun family's magical staff that would be displayed at the holy ritual event in the heavenly paradise. Her father then assigned Liangji to steal the magical staff, because Liangji previously failed to get the white-eyed blue dragon that can grant any request. Liangji actually wanted to spend the whole weekend lazing around, but she couldn't defy her father's orders, so she immediately accepted the mission. In the evening, Liangji stood in line with other visitors who wanted to enter the heavenly paradise. Because one of the rules to enter the heavenly paradise is to have a partner, Liangji, who came alone, became confused, until finally she saw Guihao, Chen Chao and Lin, who were also waiting in front of the gate. Liangji then approached Lin and asked Lin to be her partner so that they could enter the heavenly paradise. However, Lin was apparently waiting for Sun Rong's bodyguard who would bring her into the place, even though she did not have a partner. Upon hearing that, Liangji pretended that she was also waiting for Sun Rong's bodyguard while telling Lin that her purpose for coming to the event was to learn about the Sun family's traditions and culture, so that her family could establish a good cooperation with the Sun family. Lin doesn't believe Liangji because she is the daughter of a wealthy and well-respected family in Taiyang Island, so it sounds impossible that Liangji would do such a job. But Liangji asks Lin not to underestimate her and confidently says that she can do things that most rich girls cannot. Shortly afterward, Sun Rong's bodyguard finally showed up and were confused by Liangji's presence in the place. But since they were very busy serving the Sun family as well as the visitors who had come for the holy ritual, he hurried Lin and Liangji to the kitchen to do their work. In the kitchen, Liangji looked surprised to find out that she was assigned to wash the dishes, while Lin would wash the glasses and other tableware. Liangji didn't expect Lin to be doing part-time work at the Sun family residence, and regretted her decision to choose Lin as her partner to enter the heavenly paradise. As a daughter of a wealthy family, Liangji was not used to washing dishes, so an employee scolded Liangji for being incompetent at the job. Lin, on the other hand, praised Liangji for being willing to do a job that was usually only done by servants, even though Liangji was a rich girl. In her heart, Liangji also praised Lin because she was a hardworking girl who was willing to do any job to earn money. Upon knowing that Lin had often worked part-time at the Sun family residence, Liangji begged Lin to take her to the main hall, where there was a weapons room where the Sun family's magical staff was kept. But Lin told her that only certain people could enter the main hall, and servants like them had to get permission from Sun Rong's bodyguard to enter the heavily guarded main hall. Not long after, Liangji was assigned the task of bringing the Champagne Tower to the heavenly paradise square. But after completing her task, Liangji met Lord Thunder, who praised Liangji's beauty and learned about the Jiugong family's precious heirloom that Liangji had hidden under her clothes. Because she was annoyed at Lord Thunder, who always followed her, Liangji deliberately knocked down the Champagne Tower to accidentally pour Lin, who happened to be nearby. Liangji finally managed to distract Lord Thunder and rush Lin to the main hall so Lin could change her clothes, although they were stopped by a guard who forbade them from entering the main hall. After successfully entering the main hall of the Sun family residence, Liangji sneaked into the weapons room to steal the Sun family's magical staff. In the present, Yuan immediately summoned the 7-star squad to investigate the theft of the magical staff that occurred at the Sun family residence. The members of the 7-star squad seemed confused about finding clues to the theft case, while missing Zhu Yi's presence as their captain, who might be able to solve the case quite easily. Yuan then begged Wang Ling to return his family's magical staff, as he still thought that Wang Ling had stolen the heirloom, even though Wang Ling had denied the accusation. Shortly afterward, Lord Thunder appeared on the scene and defended Wang Ling because he had apparently observed Wang Ling, who was always with Sun Rong during the holy ritual event, making it impossible for Wang Ling to steal the magical staff. Sun Rong also supported the defense, even though she already knew that her grandfather was accusing Wang Ling because only Wang Ling could lift the magical staff. Lord Thunder then explained that the Sun family's magical staff had a special feature, where it could expand and contract according to the user's will. Therefore, Lord Thunder assumed that the magical staff might have become as small as a needle after being lifted by Wang Ling, and asked them to look for it. However, they were completely unable to locate the magical staff despite using a magnifying glass and searching all sides of the room. Upon seeing that, Wang Ling then suggested that they check the CCTV footage in the room. In the CCTV footage inside the room and also around the place, Wang Ling and Sun Rong were seen entering the weapons room with Yuan and his bodyguard and exiting the room before 9 in the evening. Towards 9 o'clock in the evening, Lin was seen passing through the corridor in front of the weapons room, and at 9 o'clock in the evening, Liangji was seen sneaking into the weapons room while destroying the CCTV camera so that her action would not be discovered. The next day, Liangji returned to Taiyang Island and prepared to perform a ritual with her followers in a volcanic crater. While Liangji was reciting incantations to strengthen the barrier inside the crater, her cell phone suddenly rang and showed an incoming call notification from Sun Rong. But Liangji ignored the call and continued with the ritual. Shortly afterward, Liangji received an incoming call from an unknown number, and when she picked up it turned out that Sun Rong was calling her and told her to return her family's magical staff. But Liangji ignored Sun Rong and threw her cell phone into the crater of the volcano. Meanwhile, outside the Jiogong family residence, Sun Rong looked angry because Liangji wouldn't answer her phone. Upon knowing this, Guahao, who accompanied Sun Rong to Taiyang Island with Chen Chao and Wang Ling, then told Sun Rong that he had a plan to force Liangji out of her residence. Inside the volcanic crater, Liangji, who was about to complete her ritual, was surprised by the noise coming from outside. The noise turned out to come from Guahao and Chen Chao, who deliberately set the music very loud and made a commotion with their discordant voices while singing. Because she was disturbed by the noise, Liangji finally decided to go out and meet her schoolmates to expel them from her residence. After Liangji appeared before her, Sun Rong then ordered Liangji to return the magical staff belonging to her family that Liangji had stolen during the holy ritual. But Liangji denied the accusation, insisting that she had not stolen anything from the Sun family residence, and then told Sun Rong and the others to leave her house and threatened to report them to the police for disturbing her. However, Sun Rong insisted that Liangji was the one who had stolen the magical staff, as the CCTV footage on the premises showed Liangji sneaking into the weapons room of the Sun family residence. In the middle of their argument, Jinka told Wang Ling that he felt a tremendous negative energy coming from the volcano behind the Jiogong family residence. In addition, Jinka also confirmed about the trace of spiritual energy from the Sun family's magical staff that was also in that place. Although Jinka had indirectly proven that the Sun family's magical staff was in the Jiogong family's territory, Liangji still insisted on saying that she did not steal the magical staff and then ordered her subordinates, who were the demon slayers, to finish off Sun Rong and her friends, while she would continue the ritual in the volcanic crater. As they were being surrounded by Liangji's men, Guahao wondered about the whereabouts of Wang Ling, who suddenly disappeared from the place. Meanwhile, Liangji, who was climbing the stairs to get to the volcanic crater, met Wang Ling, who was waiting for her, and asked her to return the Sun family's magical staff, even though she had emphasized that she had not stolen anything from the Sun family residence. Because Wang Ling kept appearing in front of her, Liangji became annoyed and summoned the demons to finish Wang Ling off. However, the demons were no match for Wang Ling, who was the immortal king who had destroyed their world, so Wang Ling was able to easily slaughter the demons, even destroying the magic scroll Liangji had used to summon the demons. After destroying the scroll, Wang Ling and Liangji suddenly got into a terrifying place, where a huge and terrifying demon was preparing to attack them. At the same time, Zhui suddenly appeared before them and immediately fought against the demon, until the demon was finally defeated by Zhui. Wang Ling and Liangji looked surprised to see Zhui in that place, and managed to defeat a powerful demon with his own strength. As part of Zhui's training, Wang Ling apparently sent Zhui to Taiyang Island to investigate the demon slayers, as Wang Ling suspected that the demon slayers might be related to the appearance of demons in the human world. Upon arriving at Taiyang Island, Zhui was informed that the Jiogong family had kidnapped the demons who came to the human world and locked them up in a volcanic crater located behind the Jiogong family's residence. While investigating the Jiogong family residence, Zhui was spotted by Liangji, who locked him and the sealed demons in the volcanic crater. Zhui discovered that the demons locked up in that place were fighting each other to survive and become the strongest demon, which was the goal of the Jiogong family, who wanted to create the demon king to rule the world. Liangji confirmed that the demons that appeared in Huaxiu country came from that place and were summoned through a magic formation. Afterward, the demon slayers would pretend to defeat the demons to gain the trust of the citizens. However, Liangji and her family realized that the barrier they used to confine the demons was weakening, so they had to find a way to increase the strength of the barrier to prevent the demons from escaping. Liangji admitted that she had intended to steal the Sun family's magical wand, but she had trouble pulling the staff out of its place, so she decided to leave without it. At the same time, the demons who had realized their presence in that place then prepared to launch an attack. Liangji said that Wang Ling and Zhui wouldn't be able to defeat the demons due to their sheer numbers, but Wang Ling and Zhui completely ignored Liangji's warning and prepared to fight back. Upon seeing their determination, Liangji then revealed that Taiyang Island would be destroyed if they broke the demon seal, as it would trigger a catastrophic volcanic eruption. Upon hearing this, Wang Ling and Zhui finally abandoned their plan to destroy the demons in that place. As they were discussing other ways to solve the problem, the seal of the barrier in that place suddenly cracked and was then destroyed by Sun family's magical staff. Because the barrier had been destroyed, the demons were able to flee the place, and at the same time, there was a huge volcanic eruption. Wan Ling and the others then wondered who had destroyed the seal, and were shocked to find out that the mastermind of all this was the demon frog. The scene then switches to the past and shows the demon frog accidentally meeting Zhuyi when the 7-star squad was hunting down the demons that had sprung up in Songchai. Zhuyi asked the demon frog about the demon's whereabouts, and he told Zhuyi that the demon had fled in the opposite direction, though it was actually hiding next to the demon frog. After being rescued by the demon frog, the demon then thanked him, saying that the demons wished that the demon frog could reunite with the demons and become the demon king who would lead and protect the demon clan. But the demon frog refused the demon's request, as he was used to living among humans and considered Wan Ling and the others as his comrades. Moreover, in the past, his mother had advised him that he could become the demon king who could create peace and stop the fighting between the demons and the human race so that they could coexist peacefully. However, the demon frog's opinion of humans instantly changed when he realized that Wan Ling and his friends never considered him as their friend. They even forgot his birthday and mostly used him for their own interests, without ever thinking about him. In the midst of his despair, the demon frog met the demon he had saved, who then took him to the demon's hideout in Songchai City. The demons then told the demon frog that they were demons who managed to escape from the Jiogong family who locked them up in a volcanic crater. After learning that the demons were mistreated by humans who only cared about their affairs, the demon frog finally decided to fight back so that the demons would no longer experience oppression and torture that forced them to kill each other, which was tantamount to exterminating the demon race forever. The demon frog then ordered the demons to free the other demons locked up by the Jiogong family in various places. However, they had difficulty breaking the seal in the volcanic crater, so the demon frog intended to steal the Sun family's magical staff, which is one of the most powerful weapons in the human world. During the holy ritual, the demon frog disguised himself as Lin and secretly entered the weapon room to steal the Sun family's magical staff. Since the demon frog was once one of the most powerful demon kings, he was able to easily steal the magical staff and take the staff to Taiyan Island to destroy the seal in the volcanic crater. In the present, the demon frog, who managed to destroy the seal and free the demons trapped in the volcanic crater, was shocked to see Wan Ling in that place. Upon realizing that he would not be able to defeat Wan Ling, the demon frog then ordered the demons to retreat. While Wan Ling finally learned that it was the demon frog who had stolen the Sun family's magical staff. Upon knowing that he would not be able to defeat Wan Ling in a fight, the demon frog then challenged Wan Ling to answer 3 questions, and if Wan Ling could answer all the questions correctly, then he and the demons would surrender to Wan Ling. But if Wan Ling failed to answer the questions, then Wan Ling had to let he and the demons live in the human world because Wan Ling had destroyed their world. Surprisingly, Wan Ling accepted the challenge and felt confident that he could answer all the questions. Upon seeing that Wan Ling was quite confident, the demon frog then asked questions related to math, because he knew that Wan Ling was always lazy when studying. So he felt confident that Wan Ling could not answer the questions. But unexpectedly, Wan Ling was able to answer the question, and revealed that he actually found it difficult when trying to get a 60 in math, because it turned out that Wan Ling was too smart. So he deliberately wrote the wrong answer so that others would not know about his genius. In the next question, the demon frog asked about the 3-body problem, which is related to physics and space science. However, instead of explaining the answer theoretically, Wan Ling intended to move some planets to explain the answer in more detail. The demons who saw this then assumed that the planets were moved by the demon frog and were even more convinced that the demon frog was the strongest demon who would bring the demons to glory. On the other hand, the demon frog was panicking because Wan Ling was moving the planets too close to the Earth, which might cause the Earth to be destroyed if Wan Ling accidentally used his immense power beyond its proper capacity. Hence, the demon frog acknowledged Wan Ling's answer so that Wan Ling would stop his actions immediately. After successfully answering 2 questions, Wan Ling asked the demon frog to give the last question. Since Wan Ling was very intelligent and had knowledge above normal humans in general, the demon frog finally gave a question that was completely unrelated to human knowledge, which was about the demon frog's date of birth. When he saw Wan Ling, who seemed to have difficulty answering the question, the demon frog then felt angry and felt sure that Wan Ling and his friends had never considered him as a friend. Therefore, the demon frog was determined to return to being the demon king to free the demons who had always been oppressed by evil humans and always took advantage of them. The demon frog then changed into his original form and fought against Wan Ling, even though he already knew that he would not be able to defeat Wan Ling. Wan Ling, on the other hand, tried to explain something to the demon frog, but the demon frog refused to listen to any explanation and launched a relentless attack at Wan Ling. The demon frog, who had the power to control time, felt confident that he could overwhelm Wang Ling, as he would keep rewinding time every time he was defeated by Wang Ling. On one occasion, the demon frog managed to make Wang Ling into a baby, but even though his figure turned into a baby, Wang Ling was still able to defeat the demon frog with one small punch. However, the demon frog did not run out of ideas and exerted all his power to seal Wang Ling in the end of time. Shortly afterward, Wang Ling suddenly woke up in his room and realized that he was in the end of time. Concurrently, Wang Ling heard the demon frog lamenting his fate after being defeated by Wang Ling and also his life after living in the human world. Wang Ling then embraced the crying demon frog and asked the demon frog to return with him because their friends were waiting for their return. In the end, Wang Ling managed to break free from the end of time seal and defeated the demon frog for the umpteenth time. After returning to the human world, Wang Ling then revealed to the demon frog that he had created a new world for demons to live in after he destroyed the demon world some time ago. Wang Ling then opened a dimensional portal and allowed the demons to enter the new world that Wang Ling had created so that the demons could continue their lives in peace. While the demon frog decided to stay in the human world and sincerely accepted himself to be Wang Ling's pet dog who would always obey Wang Ling. After the incident, Zhui named Liangji and her family as defendants for all the chaos involving the demons and planned to bring Liangji and her family to the 7-Star Squad headquarters for them to be punished for their crimes. The donghua ends by showing the residents of Taiyang Island repairing their homes after the volcanic eruption that ravaged Taiyang Island. While Guahao and Chinchao decide to stay for a few days in Taiyang Island, Sun Rong is seen approaching Wang Ling, who managed to get Sun Family's magical staff and return the heirloom to Sun Rong. The moral message we can learn from this series is not to judge something or someone by their physical appearance, because those who look good may be doing evil, while those who look evil are actually secretly doing good for many people.